Hello YouTube. Well, I got a package in the mail today from Island Hobby Hut. Figured maybe we'd do a little install here, try it out, see how things go. Got Perfect Pass carbon titanium drive shaft set for Arrma Limitless Infraction and Felony. Oh yeah. These things, carbon fiber and titanium. These are a nice set. Let's open these up. Throw it on the floor. So these things, 10 millimeters, titanium ends, carbon fiber. These are going to work out a lot nicer than the factory ones. You can't run the front chassis mount, chassis brace, and if you run the rear one, you have to hog it out a little bit to get it to fit. I might try it without the rear chassis brace, but yeah, let's put these things in. They're pretty slick. Now, first thing we do is pop the top brace off. I know some guys will just take one end, but I'm going to do them both just because that gets it completely out of the way. Get that bad boy out of there. And I like to pull these screws here just to get, I'm not going to pull the whole motor assembly and that out. I only got to take one side. So nice having magnetic tools, you don't lose those screws. I have them going all over the place. Pop it off. And we'll just pop that, put there, and of course there we go. There's the second one. So big difference between these. These new ones should be the trick. So got that pulled out. I'll get rid of this front brace. It's not going to be going back in. And we'll pop this one here. And we'll go ahead and grab the one for the rear brace here. Oh, what did I do? Okay, I haven't gone that deep into this one yet, but it should just pop out there. Of course, it wants to be a pain in the butt. Persuasion here. And of course, here goes my inexperience with this platform. Just got to pop it over just a hair more. And there we go. A little bit of lack of finesse there, but so we won't be running this. And right now I'm thinking that I probably won't run the rear one either. But to get to it, I've got to pop out. I'm going to have to move this rear body mount for a minute. And I should probably have my glasses on, but you guys got to take care of your eyes. And if you don't, when you get old, it gets harder to see some of this stuff. And there goes one. And there's one more right down in there. Just so we can get in there. Oh. It's not wanting to come out of there. We'll leave it for now. Those are all the parts that we won't be putting back in there. Like I said, I may end up putting it in there, but for now, I'm just going to run without it. Put that front one in there. This is the little blind thing. I can't see hardly. Pop the rear one. Center diff. We'll get that one in there. Oh yeah, those are some nice looking drive shafts there, buddy. Now when you put in these bottom screws for the diff, don't tighten them down all the way until you get the top on there. It'll make it more difficult to get things to line up and get the... And never run these down. Be careful running them in, because you are just screwing into plastic with this, and if you go crazy with it, you could just pull the threads right out of it, and you don't want to do that, because then you got to order more parts. And you don't want to do that if you don't have to. So leave that loose a little bit. Get this cover, put it back on. You want to make sure this goes over the gears. And there's grooves that it slides into. You got to make sure that it seats down there all the time, all the way, or the spool will not seat right, and it'll flop around. It's a little finicky getting it back on there like it's supposed to be, but you'll know because you'll be able to, if you can move the diff like that, you know you don't have it seated down all the way. So it takes a little bit of fiddling. That's why we left those nuts on the bottom loose. So and it's still not seating on there right. It's a little finicky because it's trying to fit it back into the bearings properly. You'll know once it's in there because you won't have any play in that. You know you've got it. Make sure it's in there good and tight. Make sure everything's on there and solid. I always start them a little bit by hand because I don't trust just running them in, especially on the side with the aluminum, because it's not hard to cross thread that stuff. So you want to make sure you don't do that, because then you'll ruin that part of the mount for the diff as well. So make sure these things are in nice and straight, and again, don't go crazy with the drill, because you can tear some stuff up, because these things have got a little torque and they will rip right through them threads and you'll end up with junk. Underneath. We'll finish them off. By hand. Get this another little, snug them up by hand. You don't have to reef on them, just make sure they're good and snug. And they'll be in there. And again, just do a check. Don't overdo this, because it's really not necessary to over tighten any of this. And then we're in there. Nice and snug. I'll get that center brace back in. We go here. And there we go. And that firms your chassis right back up. There's not hardly any flex in this. I really don't see, I mean, unless you're jumping this thing, those chassis braces they've got, I mean, they should be fine. If you're just out there doing speed runs and that, this upper brace, or if you've got a carbon fiber brace, which we'll change to eventually, that chassis is stiff. And there we are. Those beautiful carbon fiber titanium drive shafts, 10 millimeters. Got a little bit of extra length on them, so there's not quite as much play. They fit in there really nice and straight. These things are tough, and they'll kill that high rotational resonance you get at the higher RPMs, so you won't have that crazy bearing and speed killer. These things will definitely help. And, that's it. I gotta put my body mount back on, but you know, that's the shafts. They're in there, ready to go. Beautiful pieces by Perfect Pass. They're nicely done. And I guess that'll be it for today. We'll get back and get some passes in here. Hopefully in the next couple weeks or so, weather cooperating. That's the biggest thing, is the weather around here just sucks. I just wanted to make sure I got those shafts in, and I'm kind of looking into maybe a gyro. We'll see what happens, but right now that'll be it. A quick little install on those carbon fiber titanium drive shafts. Get rid of these stock dog bones. They'll be up for sale on eBay for $19.95 if you need a set. Just kidding, but yeah, they'll just go into the scrap box and save them for another project, I guess. But all right, guys, that's pretty much it. I know wasn't really informative, but I just show you the install of putting in the drive shafts, and hopefully, if you liked it, subscribe, like, share, and we'll see you around. Thanks, guys.